I'm back for a third term. Not in America though, but somewhere in the Middle East. And we gotta build a lot of apartments for these people. Hey everyone, Brento here. Welcome to another episode of Dump City. So we're back at it here with a new map. We tried tourism, we tried prisons, but why not see if Zionism works? And just so we're clear, I am referring to my proprietary brand of Zionism, which is spelt with two N's, of course. My brand of Zionism refers to a planned community I have for this episode's urban development. Basically, I want to see if we can build a society with little to no poor people in it. So what's on the show aside from this idiotic clickbait premise? I'll also go over my initial setup for this final map of the New Frontiers DLC in Tropico 6. I'll then share an idea for a new fast food restaurant brand for Chinese and American investors to consider. This idea could put McDonald's out of business. You don't want to miss this one. And finally, we'll discuss if America needs an Iron Dome missile defense system. Perhaps you are watching this in the distant future, and America already has one of these, thanks to persistent robot attacks. But here in the late 2020s, I'll share my reasons why I think it makes sense. Since it's our first episode on a new map, I better entertain you right off the bat, rather than risk boring you with too many technical details early. It's come to my attention YouTube viewers rarely develop loyalties to new content creators. So, just in case you came here for one thing only, the thing that entire stadiums of people are lining up to buy tickets for, once again, it's time for more tips for noobs. Okay, tip number 1. Are you starting a new map with high demand for rapid building construction? Change the better safe than sorry to ignore safety regulations. You get a 20% increase in productivity for a 10% risk of death. Get stuff built faster, and if you have a lot of people who are unemployed, it kind of solves two problems at once. Next, are your people not buying enough vaccines? If you have the Going Viral DLC installed, nothing sells better than fear. See this work mode here? Spread chaos. Just like the media did in real life. And finally, are people complaining that the food is not chewy enough? Well, then add rubber as a synthetic food lab input, just like food producers do in real life. Again, this comes with the New Frontiers DLC, so if you got the rockets, you're going to get this building too. Another cool thing about this building too is you can actually stack them. So you can add extra layers by building on top. Anyways, are you still watching? Wow, that's a surprise. Let's play a bit, shall we?
And talking to that television with a face makes my skin crawl.
So one of the things we're doing here is we're doing this mission to win the race to Mars, okay? That's basically what the map is called, the race to Mars. Just like real capitalism, you don't actually race to get there. You spend more resources crushing your competitors. So that's what we just did here. We did some sabotage, and then we delivered some cigars to a warehouse, and we made our competitors disappear.
Another one bites the dust as a rival colony ship meets its end due to the unforeseeable dangers of space.
So we're almost 20 years into the new map, and the year is now 2008. However, unlike the global financial crisis most of the world is experiencing right now, we're doing okay with money. I've set up a few basic goods to sell, and I'm importing cigars. I had to do that for this quest right now. We also have protectionism in effect because my goal for this episode is to actually not do too many international trade partnerships, but rather produce a wide variety of goods. And under protectionism, standard export prices go up 5%. So if you don't have contracts, this is the best option. But the long-term strategy here is actually to import a lot of goods as well, because I want to make sure everything that my Tropicans can use is available in the shopping mall. I also have this Made in Tropico edict in effect. This is something we haven't seen before. Basically increases the price of goods to go along with it. But it's not just how I'm going to sell goods that's relevant in this economy setup. I want to import a lot of goods. So we have a custom house set up, and I have it set up to reduce import taxes. As well, I have this upgrade here for tax evasion, just like real life corporations do. So they get stuff in for 10% cheaper.
I want to make sure I have enough consumer and luxury goods for my people on this map so they're as happy as possible. Another thing we have here that's new to this world, if you haven't seen this before, is we actually built a shopping mall. If you've been following the series, we were building grocery stores and we were constantly filling them up with consumer goods here. I've upgraded so that we have in-stock luxury goods as well, and people pay more money for this, and I assume it makes them happier. I even added air conditioning to it. But in terms of the goods that differ in this building versus the grocery store, let me just move myself out of the way for a second here. We have way more goods than the grocery store can normally keep, like cars and jewelry, boats. I don't think the grocery store has boats in it. So this is the advantage of using a shopping mall. It's basically like a supercharged grocery store. So we're going to use that for our City of Zionn here with 2 ends. You'll notice too our approval rating is pretty high at 75%. And because it's the year 2008, that means we're going to have an election about 1 year from now. So one of the reasons my approval rating's high is because I promised to fix the housing crisis, because frankly, I did the same thing again. I went 20 years, didn't build a single house for anyone. Basically, Zion's going to be built around these ancient ruins here of Zion with 2 ends. This should make everyone in this area very happy. We have a bunch of aura creating buildings. Like the last game, we're going to have the factory outlet in effect, so it's going to improve the housing quality near it. And we have several other buildings around it that are going to boost housing quality in one stacked area. You'll also notice too, I don't have any roads planned. So that's how the City of Zion is going to be designed. It's all going to be super dense, high quality housing for rich and super rich and maybe some well-off people too. The objective of this map is essentially to create as many wealthy people as possible. I want to have 500 rich or super rich people by the end of the series if all goes to plan. You'll see this bank here has this private banking work mode. This is something I've never really taken advantage of. So once we have enough rich people, if we have 500 of them, we're basically creating more income than any other mode can create. While we'll be able to build this by the end of the episode, we won't really know if this economic system works until, frankly, the end of the series. So one thing I want to be honest about here is this is actually my 3rd try at this map. I failed twice before. Bit of a spoiler alert. See these rockets here? There's a blue one, and we just kicked back the red one. So if the blue one or the red one actually reaches Mars before us, you lose the campaign. So I played this for about just over 20 years, and I'd already lost, and I didn't realize I have to be constantly sabotaging my opponents in order to win this. See here, this Hack Houston? If we go into the cyber operation facility here, so basically what this does is it prevents the Americans from beating us. Likewise, it was required that I built the Spy Academy and I infiltrate Baikonur, and that stops the Russian and the Chinese from beating us. So once I learned that, I then tried again, but then I lost for a different reason on the 2nd attempt. Because I have the Going Viral DLC enabled, we had a virus outbreak, and actually this virus has happened all 3 attempts. But the 2nd time it actually ended my game. Basically everyone died. So what I did wrong in the 2nd attempt was I didn't vaccinate people. In this attempt, I actually vaccinated people just before the virus came out, and then 1 time later, just to be sure. But a virus can only be cured when a virus is present. So when one's here, there'll actually be a screen here where you can test different ingredients to make the cure, and then you can publish the ingredients. So you can try things like meat or fish or whatever. And, maybe fish is what they use, just like real life, right? If it proves some sort of statistical effectiveness, you start producing it at the cannery instead. And then you switch it over to canned cure. Then cure doses will be created and you can vaccinate your people. And you can even sell them, I believe. We also saw the mobile doctor squad, which basically goes around and immunizes people. And finally, we had this colossal hospital that I built, which has some sort of ability where basically it's like a hospital and it detects viruses and whatnot. So these are the things I did to prevent the virus from ending my campaign early. This tri-monthly booster never really got tested. If you wanted to make some money, maybe this was another mechanic to do so. I'm not going to try it in this series, but this is something you could explore with when you're playing along. There's also this cure embezzlement edict here, which gives me Swiss money. Maybe I'll try that a little bit later if another virus appears. And then there's this inject first, ask later. I don't know how this benefits us, but it's there. You can try it yourself. I don't know if it makes sense. Maybe it's just as crazy as real life, right? So dealing with this virus is what got me on the second attempt, but we're doing good on this attempt. Oh, and also we have these medical checkpoints, which were kind of handy for detecting the virus. I put them at a couple of places where I thought lots of traffic would go through. Also, I finally learned my lesson, having not built a college in previous maps. After all, education is one of the fundamental pillars of civilization. So, I got the spelling bee really early, which lets me get college grads without needing to build a college. And I also built the literacy program, which also increases my high school efficiency. So then these kind of stack together, and I got these both kind of maxed out. I built an immigration office and unlocked the worker mode to bring in pre-educated immigrants. What country do you think I get these smart workers from? From somewhere in Asia, perhaps? Maybe China? We've now gone 8 entire episodes without a college. Hooray! Now, before I go on an insane tangent like I always do, here's a few more things to get you caught up. So this map actually came with 2 different bus stops. So what I'm actually going to do here is not build a metro in this world, but instead use the bus stops initially and see how far that takes me. So I've set it up so that one bus stop will pick up people here and deliver the workers in this area. Our other bus stop will pick up workers in Zionn, and it will deliver them to our work zone over here. Basically, that's going to be our low-cost metro system to start off. This map came with a couple of oil rigs as well. I've also built this dump motors. This is the first time we've actually been producing cars in the series. It's not rocket science here. It's basically steel, which you already know how that works, and rubber. But what we have here is this work mode called company car. So basically, because of the location of this place, I figured maybe the workers could drive out to it rather than rely on the bus, because I don't think the bus is going to be good for very long. So this is actually a good way of making money. If we go into the trade view here and check out goods and prices, cars are actually the #1 moneymaker. Now, I don't know if this means they're the most profitable because the raw components might actually be more expensive than other things. So we're just trying out cars. And like in previous episodes, we built a rum distillery, a mask factory, and of course, juice. You always gotta have juice. I've surrounded the city with 3 different army bases, one here, and one over here. And unlike the other episodes where I built regular watchtowers, here we have the Overwatch towers. These are like the highest tiered ones. They do more damage and they like spy better. So I got these situated throughout the map. Hopefully this is enough to deal with all the rebels that might spawn on this map. But maybe there'll be none. Alright, a few other things that are new in this scenario. Again, if you're playing Tropico 6, maybe you're looking at this New Frontiers just for the new content it adds. We actually have 2 missions. We can go to the moon, or we can go to Mars. The Mars, I think, is how I win it, but going to the moon gives you a reward that you get these better components. Now, I've gotten at least 1 from going on a moon trip so far, but I've also gotten a couple of these from visiting the broker. What I'm doing right now is I'm setting up 1 more moon mission so that I can get even better parts, and then I think the next attempt I'm going to launch the rocket to Mars. This way, I win the campaign, and I have enough content for 2 more episodes. Looks like we're a while from launching this moon rocket though. Anyways, that's it for the tour of the new map. And now a word from our sponsor. Dump City! Dump City! But since I have no money, I'll share my idea for a new fast food restaurant instead. So I was playing Civ 6 the other day and I noticed the AI China built the city of Wuhan on my map. It then got me thinking about the whole pandemic thing and the way the media covered it a few years back. It made me think of the gain-of-function research being done in Wuhan at the time. Jesus, I gotta learn how to write. Script doesn't... It's like I'm dyslexic, I think. It made me think of the gain-of-function research being done in Wuhan at the time. Were they trying to spread animal diseases to humans? I don't know, but either way, Wuhan is always going to be known as Bat City to the rest of the world now. Sorry, Wuhan, the media scapegoated you for something really only a few actors were responsible for. That said, when life gives you a lemon, why not make lemonade? Now, if a Chinese entrepreneur has already done this, bravo, you win capitalism. Your brand will blow up even in America too, if the flavors are just right. KFC could be dethroned with the right prices and the right menu, in fact. Most importantly, repeatable, reliable quality are a big factor in menu planning for a fast food chain. But do you know what's not optional? The name of this Wuhan-based restaurant you heard first on Dump City. Bat King! Now, the font would have to be similar to Burger King in America for this to work, but it would offer deep-fried bat instead. Now, hold on here, that's just a gimmick. See, it's in fact some of the highest quality chicken factories can produce, brined even better than KFC does it. Maybe it uses 20 herbs and spices, and most of them are garlic. Now, all you need is a Batman IP executive in the US to partner with you, and bam! We're all billionaires. Me too, right? I would set up the first franchises near tourist hotspots in Wuhan itself. This way, lazy old Brento wouldn't have to go far from his hotel to order himself some delicious deep-fried bat. I think, too, it's important to tell tourists the food is real bats, not chickens.
There is a rebellion, Presidente. If these rebels want your attention so badly, they should make an appointment like everybody else.
Uh-oh.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad this deal worked out for us.
Anyways, where was I? I think, too, it is important to tell tourists the food is real bats, not chicken. For English menus, you can employ me, Brento, as the translator. I'll make sure the word chicken never appears anywhere in the menu. Sure, the locals will know it's a joke, and the Chinese version would use the word chicken, of course. But the company rule would be that foreigners must ask if it's actually just regular chicken before that is divulged. If the other founders want to pay for my trip, I will be the first to order the signature dish, the Batwing Bundle. I will even make a video of myself in English and Standard Mandarin, claiming it is the best bat/chicken in the country, in fact. Yes, 12 chicken wings from a fast food chain that also sells the Big Bat Chicken Burger. Of course, the Big Bat is essentially just a big crunch with 3 buns like a Big Mac. In China, you have the freedom to create anything. Alright, enough of this nonsense. Let's get back to our greater Tropico project. Unlike previous episodes where I build apartments, we have to start earlier this time. We have a ton of housing to build.
The election is a landslide, Presidente.
We did it again. Alright, let's build some houses. Before we do here, let's check a few statistics. Currently, we have no vacant homes and 139 homeless families. Basically, I haven't built any houses at all. So let's build the City of Zionn. As usual, we'll grab ourselves some urban development here. Let's make sure a communist is present in the Department of Economy. And let's start building. Okay, let's get started with some apartments here. Although I'd like to put a lot of mansions here, the problem with the mansion is it doesn't house as many people as an apartment. So technically what's probably going to happen here is we'll have a lot of rich people living in an apartment, even though it's only designed for well-off people. It's just the density of it is why I need it. So let's start with some apartments. One here, and let's put one more. How about right there? That's a good spot. You'll notice that most of our town doesn't have much beauty to it, but it's like one of the few places it's nice. So I'm going to place some parks here to push this blight a little further out. I'm just going to relocate some parks in this so-called attempt to make nice neighborhoods near the docks. We want this whole area to be beautiful. That's kind of the objective of this. Let's put a few more apartments here. Let's add another apartment here. One here. And how about one here? Let's grab a statue. I think there's a good spot. What else are you going to put here, right? Let's add a few more apartments. You'll notice too, I'm not using any cluster homes or anything that's for the poor, only well off. I do this thing for all rich people, but I can't. Let's add another apartment here. Let's put an apartment here and another apartment here. Let's slap down some modern mansions. One here, and another one here. How about one here as well? Let's throw a few houses here as well. One there. One there. A few more apartments and one or two more mansions here, and I think we're good to go. I think that's a good setup for now. Let's see how this does. Let's make sure the mansions are built first. As you know, you want to make sure the rich people always have the nicest homes possible right off the bat. And let's head over to our construction office here and really speed this process up because we have to get this done by the end of the show. So let's press play again.
Presidente, I know you always keep your promises, but the citizens today can be very exacting about what counts as a fulfilled promise.
All right, unlike previous episodes where we did that at the end, we're doing this early so we can see the city built and look at it and take some pictures of it. While it's building here, let's throw a cathedral down. Yeah, I think we need a cathedral. Let's put it here. I think this is a good spot. Church of Scientology. I spelled it correctly, I think. You'll notice here we have a library with uncensored portfolio, so it actually increases the liberty. So this is actually creating some super happy people. We want this place jam-packed with riches. However, it's not the only place I want to develop. Let's set up some houses for the poors over here too. Definitely no mansions in this part of town, but we can also use some apartments for density. How about one here, one here. Throw in a house, a statue, another apartment. And let's do one of these cluster homes. These are good for poor people. If we need to add more later, we can add some. We can add other stacks to it, which I'm pretty sure we'll need. But let's give one house for poor people here. And you know what? Let's actually add another cluster home over here for the rich people. Some of the places the people work at here only create poor people. Things like the parkade. This guy needs a place to live. Hopefully it doesn't have to be too big. We don't want too many poors here.
Pleasure doing business with you, Presidente.
All right, we built our mansion here. Let's take the standing. We're good for money. This cluster home will be handy for people that don't make $10. As you know, the threshold is $9 or less is poor, $10 or more is well off, 20 or more is rich. Filthy rich is $50 or more. So even though everyone here is rich, some of the services here require poor people to serve them. Oh, and another thing too, I want to build some of these dome habitats while we're at it. I think when you have a sparsely populated area, this kind of makes sense. So let's put this a little off the beaten path. Let's have a few planned dome communities over here. Yeah, right there I think is a good spot. And that'll keep the workers in this area housed in a nice environment. Let's relocate this police station over here. Oh, we got a problem over here. Oh, you see what happened? We got to relocate this bus stop. I got to replan that bus stop. It's right where the entrance to the police station is. So let's put it a little over here. There we go. Let's boost the productivity of our construction office. As you can see here, we had an $8 an hour wage. Now it's 12. So that should create less poor people. Between episodes, I'm going to go over every single one of these buildings and try to create as few poor people as possible. And then if we need more housing for them, we'll add housing. But otherwise, I want no poor people on this map. Oh, let's see if we can build a hotel here. I don't know if we're going to have many tourists, but let's try it. I think we have enough space for a hotel as well. Obviously for the rich, no poors allowed. How about right here? I think that's not a bad spot. Dump International Zionn Hotel. Let's set and Donald Dump to visit it.
Follow in my footsteps.
While we wait for this to get built, let's start removing our tenements because I don't want any of these left. So let's get rid of this one here. And let's start redeveloping our dock area. Nice smooth road here. I think it's a little bit better. I actually want to move this dump over here, but I'll do that between episodes. I'll reorganize this zone. Let's check out the status of our moon mission right now. Looks like we're ready to go here. Let's start boarding crew. You'll notice too we're under our weight limit. At my first attempt at this, I made an inefficient rocket. You don't need to do all the upgrades. You don't need all 3 of them. That's something else I've learned since playing this stage. Let's do some Donald Dump stuff.
I shall rewrite history. By hand, if need be.
Don't forget, the Middle East needs the dump brand too. You don't have to practice Sharia law to know that there's nothing wrong with a nice hotel in the right part of town. I think you all know what I mean here. An area with all the right type of people. The type of people that have a lot of money, like me.
Let's empty some dumps while we're here. We want Zion to be a very beautiful city, and having these dumps full is not good for business. Look at this, some of our buildings are starting to come together. We can almost do a panoramic view of this. They are getting built fast. So while we wait for this to get done, let's do another idiotic bit. Does America need an Iron Dome missile defense system? You're probably thinking the concept is ridiculous, but what if Hamilton, Canada were to launch missiles into New York City? You know, out of spite for not having an NHL team, while New York has two? Again, maybe you are listening to this in the distant future and Iron Domes are everywhere by now. Commonplace to defend against attacks from the billionaire robot armies, maybe? I can see the billionaires making robots and turning on the population once the public runs out of money to give them in the near future. That's how capitalism works, right? Milk the public as long as you can. Then, when the people have no more milk to give, get rid of them. Honestly, it seems like a eugenics program to me, so it makes a lot of sense this could happen. What if AT-ATs start roaming New Jersey suburbs? They have missile launchers on them, don't they? I never watched Star Wars close enough to notice, but I think large cities like New York would definitely need an Iron Dome to defend itself if it was the case. I think that's what Star Wars was all about. The problem of having unregulated galactic financial trade systems, right? A lot of video games model this too. The more surplus money you make, the more weapons you buy. What is the point of money if you can't use it to assert dominance over others, right? Any billionaires listening in? Comment below if I understand this correctly. Are you thinking of spending all that surplus cash on android armies? Robots are cheaper than humans, more effective, and they don't talk back either. At the time of this recording, the world is controlled by billionaires, so I can only guess what's next. If you're watching this in the 2030s, comment below if your American city now has an Iron Dome. I'd keep an eye on Quebec City too, come to think of it. Alright, enough of this nonsense here, let's get back to the game. Be nice to finish this by the end of the episode too. We probably won't finish this by the end of the episode, but you'll definitely see this next week. Same goes for our dome housing. While we wait for these last buildings to build, I got an idea. Let's send the rocket out. Everyone's boarded. Let's go.
Canal Uno would like to properly congratulate the Tropinauts aboard the colony ship, but seeing as they're about 1,000,000 miles away, it could not be. Arms are just not long enough.
Let's watch the rocket launch and we'll check out our City of Zionn and call it an episode. Okay, that takes forever. I've seen enough. So doing that unlocks some more higher grade components, so we should be able to build faster thrusters for the next one. We'll then be able to create our Mars rocket and get to Mars and win it, right? The ministry actually has a worker that lowers pollution for these residential buildings, so we might have to enable that one to make these people extremely happy. Okay, we're getting close to finishing our housing happiness here. And I think one way to ensure it gets done is I'm just going to boost the efficiency a little bit on these apartments. And that should take us over the edge, and we did that. And yeah, I think almost every building's built here. This is Zion, the city of the future, the city of only rich people.
A spate of vandalism has been denounced by the palace as sour grapes.
Oh, looks like we're done our objective here. I didn't even notice. So there you go. Let's lower the quality once again. Now that we're done our housing objective here, let's finish up this Church of Scientology and call it an episode. In our last map, we tried atheism and we had a lot of problems. So I think let's go back to what we did in our first map and go with theocracy and have a lot of religion, because I think that just makes people happier overall. Look at this. We got another component for our ship here. Let's unlock it. Uh-oh, another virus. See this here? It's active again. Let's start researching something. Let's see if, I don't know, maybe meat. Let's start testing that. And also, let's get rid of some more buildings here. Palestine? I don't know if this show is real sometimes. Let's get rid of it. They got nicer houses to go to, right? They're all moving to Zion. I think. This here, don't need it. This here, goodbye. Goodbye.
Me and the penguin share a respect for
I want to build a stadium anyways. This isn't full. Plenty of housing in Zion. Look at that. They're not even living in these anymore. They're just taking up space. I never electrified them either. All these tenements can disappear. And we'll see what happens. And one over here too. Alright, our Church of Scientology is ready. Oh, look at this. We've reached the moon. 2 more space components. This is a good one. Let's give ourselves a religion real quick here. This way Donald Dump can visit the church and we can end the episode. Looks like he's taking a bus this time. Oh no, he's walking through the bus. Alright.
Don't forget, Dump brand Bibles are available in the lobby. They work for any religion, frankly. I even included a few extra chapters I wrote myself.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the City of Zion. High quality housing. Is this a good strategy? It's in a beautiful neighborhood. They got everything they can to make themselves happy. I think transportation is going to be a bit of an issue, but we could deal with that possibly in the next episode. I have some ideas. And one last thing before we log out here, let's just quickly check out our statistics on homelessness. Did we solve it? No, we didn't. There's even more homeless than before. But our rich people, the only people who vote, have homes too. I think part of it too is that the tenements we just destroyed are causing people to relocate into Zion. So that should fix itself, but either way, Zion's built, and these people are theoretically happier.
Hey there, Prez. Boy, do I
just
feel
built
good
one of
today.
these. What's going on?
Stocks.
I'll maybe build another one offline. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next week.